computer. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tinkering with Jim. We're going to be doing some different experiments and just tinkering this week. And this week's focus will have paper, tape. You need to try different types of tape, and some scissors. And later on, not today, cardboard. And you might get a little box like mine here and use it to store the materials so that you have it every morning when you're ready. And you don't want to try something new. So I've got a new little setup here, location. I've got a webcam, so hopefully the quality of the picture is a little better. You can see behind me. These are the Lego pieces that make up the world, the periodic table of elements. You know, maybe we'll be able to talk about those at some point. And, you know, we'll have a nice little time and see if we can make some things. So let me look at my schedule here. And okay, so first thing I want to talk about is tape today. And I'm going to move this camera down a little bit. And I want you to see what I've got here is just a water bottle. And it's one that somebody left at Rock Tree Sky, which, by the way, we're going to have a day or two where families, if there's something that's here that you need, your parent can sure come and pick it up, because some kids definitely left some jackets before we left. But what I want to do is take a piece of tape, and I love that sound. And I'm going to take some tape, and I'm going to put it right on the side of this bottle. I'm going to do it down like this. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attempt to lift it up and see what happens. So, that didn't work so well. Let's try it one more time. I can get even more of that tape on there. Let's see. Okay, ready? Here we go. I'm going to unmute you now. So, does anybody have any advice for me on what I might do? What? Notice that this is coming off this way. So, who can help me with a solution to be, I want to lift this bottle. I just want to use this tape. And I've put a piece of tape on here, and I keep trying to lift it, and it keeps coming off.
Please give me the drink.
Who can help me? Can anybody help me with that?
Put it on the metal, the cap, maybe.
Put it on the cap. Okay, put it on the cap.
I don't like that.
Ooh, that's a little different. Look at that, helps. Let's see. Yeah, it didn't work down here. I wonder, do you think it might be because the material is different? But if we put it right here on the metal, stayed for a while. But
Jim,
any other ideas of what I could do?
Jim, do we need a bottle to do this project? Or?
Well, this is just a demonstration. The next project is going to be, the thing we're actually going to do is the challenge. I'm just doing a quick demonstration and trying to get some help from you guys.
Jim?
Yes, Samuel.
Look at my necklace out. Oh, paper clips.
That's pretty cool, Danielle. That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Wrap it around the cap.
Okay. Let's go back to our challenge here. Okay, so So
Yeah.
wrap around, explain. So if I do this, but I need something to be able to pull up on. Tell me
Oh,
more.
like diagonal. Sort of, yeah. No, never mind.
Diagonal. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think I see what you're saying. You're saying come around here like this.
Yes. Oh, no.
Just unwound for me. So there's some forces going on. Let me grab my Sharpie right here. Where did I put my Sharpie? Oh, right here. Marker. You know, I think what we're experiencing is the problem with forces on this tape. You know, when I have the tape here, the force, you know, I lift it, and the force on the tape kind of makes it want to pull off. That's not going to show up. One moment. Let's see if this works better. Force on the tape is just kind of causing it to pull off. It's kind of, as I pull, it just wants to come off. So we need a way to keep the force to bring it upwards. Because it just kind of, it goes at an angle. I wonder, and I haven't tried this yet, but I wonder if I take that single piece of tape like this, one on each side, and lift. Hey, that's pretty sturdy. So now the tape isn't getting, before, just one piece. As I pulled, the bottle tilted, and the tape, the force of the tape was coming up and away from the bottle. So it's pulling it away. But when I do this, the force stays on the bottle in a direct, you know, upward angle. It's pretty good, pretty sturdy. So, you know, things to think about. Now, speaking of forces, we're going to take a piece of paper. And the challenge, I'm going to give you some time to work on this on your end, is to take a book or something that has some weight, nothing that's breakable. Look at this book. I love this book. All about beetles. How come it's backwards? That's interesting. And inordinate fondness for beetles. And this book's pretty heavy. And I want to see if I can find a way to support the weight of that book with this paper so that I can hold the book off the table with a piece of paper. So I would like to ask each of you to go ahead and take a piece of paper or two and see if you can come up with a way to hold the book off of the table with the paper. So that is the challenge. Let's see. So go ahead, let's take a minute and try to hold the paper in such a way that you can hold the book up. And then when you're done, let us know, raise your hand, and share your idea with us.
Wait, so we have to lift the book up with a piece of paper?
Something to hold, not to lift it, not to lift it like this. Thank you for the clarifying question. Not to lift it like this, Jaden, but something to hold the book off the table like this, right? Almost like a little platform, something that can support the weight.
I'm using a piece of paper.
Using a piece of paper, that's the challenge, right? What are you gonna do with that paper to make that?
Here's a piece of paper. You ready to try it?
So are there ways that you could fold the paper? Are there ways that, what could you do?
What can you do? Because right now the book, nope.
Can we use Tim?
What, Danielle?
When?
Can we use tape?
Yeah, you could use some tape, Danielle. Excellent question. Or Samuel. Sorry, Samuel. Yes, of course you could use tape. Thank you.
Using a piece of tape.
Okay. I'm gonna work on something else here. I'm gonna put my camera up here. You guys can see
Now you're on mute.
a periodic table behind me. And I'm gonna work on a version myself. And I want to see what you all come up with.
Can I make a cookie shape for?
Let's go get a new puzzle.
You could try, if you come up with a successful version, try another way. Many different ways.
Have you ever done it before?
Yes. Yes, this is a classic. This is an old classic of the Science Teacher playbook.
That's what you found.
So you know how to do it. I really want to find it right now.
Yeah, I know. Hey, here's what I know, Jaden. That's a great question. I know a way or two ways to do it, but I don't know every way. And that's the cool thing about tinkering, is that there are, you use what you have and you make it work, right? You make it work with what you have. And that's the sign of a really, of a tinkerer who's learning how to be resourceful, right? Make it work with what you have. That's
how far does it have to hold it off the ground?
You know, that doesn't have to be far, just so that, you know, we can see that the paper is, you know, how about this? Thicker than the width of the paper, right? Certainly. I'm working over here too. Better not hold it up too high. You see my. That I'm getting a couple different ways ready for myself. The tape.
I did it.
I
think I did it. It's like an inch off the ground though.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to, let me see if I can allow it to be on your video. Okay, so, So what'd you do to the paper? Lift that up a little bit.
I just crinkled it.
Okay, so you added some crinkles. Okay. That's one way. Anybody else come up with a different way? They want to share?
Yeah, we did that last night. So we did that. I got one piece of cake. Oh, it's pushing. So where can this go? Let's see where this. This is so big, huge. Oh, I know where to go. You're right, go right there.
Can you see if you can come up with another way that's a little more engineered? Do you know what I mean? A little more like recreatable and less random. Maybe see if we can get it higher up there. I see Weston there working on something. Anybody else ready to share? You can go ahead and raise your hand if you want. By the way, hi Nathan.
Can we use 2 pieces of paper to hold it up?
Yeah, I don't want you to put, it's not like you're making a handle for the book. It's more of making a platform for the book. Okay?
I know.
Yeah, you can use more than one. I don't know if that's what you asked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, use a couple. You have multiple, you have more than one resource there. Okay.
I just found out how to hold it up.
And we'll be right back.
It's taking off of my iPad. How did you pay down to that? No.
All of this together. On your jaw.
That's number 3 part, Miss. Also there. Number 3 are those. Right there. So it goes connecting to there. So it goes right there. Right? Yes.
Oh, I found another green part. Here you go. Here you go.
Potassium. No. So. Oh, they're on. Not all of me. Yeah. But that's that's the number 2. It goes.
I'm hoping to see some good stuff here.
It goes right there, Mama.
Okay.
So it goes right here. It goes right there. Mama. It goes right there, Mama. It goes right there and
Okay, I can hear the sound of busy fingers. Okay, let's see. Anybody come up with a solution yet that you want to share?
I did, but I just can't do it.
It's not working, huh?
No, I did. It will work, but I just need it's like this goes right there. Look, person job. I need someone to hold something. Go together.
Oh, need a little more support.
I don't really know what I'm supposed to do because I was downstairs looking for paper when you were explaining it.
What? Okay. Shall I share what I
I
came up with?
did.
Yeah.
I did one piece. Mom.
Okay. All right. Let me turn the camera down and we can look into my workspace here.
Okay. Mom, how about you on your hard? Did you make something? Yeah. Can I see it?
So one of the first things I did is I took a piece of paper like this and I folded it kind of accordion style, like that.
Right. Good.
And no, so that one is not capable by itself. So now let's try it this way. So now I've got two where I've just.
Now I did another part.
Let's see if this can do it. No, that cannot do it either. So let's try another way. Let's add a third one. Or here is a single piece rolled up as a tube with a piece of tape.
Mom, I want to do this on parts where every time I do it, it does it. It puts the hair in puzzle. And I want it.
That one worked.
I
That's
was
a
trying to
single
get it
piece
too.
of paper, right? Just a tube.
Puzzle, not the dog.
Too.
Okay, if you have something to offer. So the best way I came up with so far was with a single tube taped together. You can see all the way through it. And that did it pretty good. Of course, I have to be careful. Oh, how I put that on there. Ta-da! I thought I'd have better luck with the accordion style. That was my thought, but it just collapses. It just collapses. So I want to share something else about paper. And I have a piece of paper right here. And I want you to notice something with the paper. Oh, look at Weston. What do you got there, Weston? I'm going to unmute you.
What's up?
Weston, I see it. Is that a piece of paper?
No.
What is that, Weston? Is that a cardboard tube?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let me ask you this, Weston. What is cardboard made out of? It's made out of bits of paper. It's a little stronger, right? It's a little thicker. There's perhaps more pulp in there. Have you all ever seen what paper is made out of? Does anybody know? I'm going to go and unmute everybody. Anybody know what paper is made out of?
Never said we could use trees.
Trees, definitely papers made out of trees.
Trees.
I brought a piece of a tree here, right? Here's a piece of a
Trees.
wood. But tell me more. How do they make paper out of trees?
They slice it up super thin, I think.
Thin slices. So we could take this and just shave off little bits at a time. Okay. Any other ideas?
Oh.
Watch
What?
yourself.
Grind it up.
Ah, grind it up. If you've ever done any projects in the woodshop at RTS, you've probably seen this stuff, which is sawdust, right? And in fact,
Yeah, I know that stuff. I made
take
cars.
some sawdust. I'm going to change this up a little bit.
Mix it next time. Okay?
Okay, so here's a cup. I'm going to put some sawdust in it
Now,
right here.
I don't want to okay.
Let's add some water.
You help me. You help me, or then I'm going to back.
This is not annoying.
So I've got a cup of sawdust right here. And at lumber mills, they take sawdust. They'll add, it's ground up bits of wood. And the wood has fibers on it. The wood has fibers. If you notice here, it all runs one way. These run this way on the wood. They don't run this way. And if you look at the end grain, you can see that, there you go. You can see that the fibers here are not running across. They're actually running the length of the wood. You can see the lines. They don't run this way. They run up and down on the wood. So if we go back to the pulp, if I add a little water, I'm going to stir it up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit more water. So this is the sawdust. These are little bits of the wood fiber that comes off the process. And basically, it's not unlike this where they add water to the wood pulp and they get it kind of like that. And then they add some type of glue to the material as well. And then they lay it out on flat surfaces, and you can make paper in a similar way if you had a binding agent or glue. Let me get, so now I've got a plate, and I'm going to put some of the water and the sawdust on there, and I'm actually going to spread it out a little bit, and then we're going to come back later, not today, another time this week, and we'll see what happens. It'd be really good if we had a binding agent. Try and make it shaped even like a piece of paper if I can. Okay, so now we've got that sawdust on the paper, or I'm sorry, on the plate, and we're just going to leave that for later. Let's see here. That one doesn't go that way. Okay. One last thing to talk about real quick before I know I have to go. And that is, I got a piece of paper here. And this paper, just like this wood, it has ways that the grains tend to line themselves up. And what you can notice, you can test this out with a piece of paper, that if you take it and you attempt to tear it, it tears better some ways than it tears others. So I'm going to attempt to tear this one from the side, like along the sideways. Okay, pretty decent. Went a little crooked. Now I'm going to try to tear it from the top. Now notice which tear is neater. Look at this straight edge, but look at this one. It's kind of crooked. That has to do with the way that the grains tend to line up. This is going sideways again. But if I start here, I generally get a much better tear to the paper. So paper has these little grains of the pulp tend to line up in a certain way, and it would tear like this log would probably cut easier this way than it would this way. So that's something
Wow.
kind of fun. Let me double check to see if I
Whoa,
covered.
that's amazing. That is amazing.
That is amazing. Okay, any questions on that stuff before I introduce you to the strange object of the day? Ready? You guys ready for the strange object of the day? Okay.
What?
Strange object of the day. Every day I'll focus on a strange object. Does anybody know?
It's a lemon squeezer.
Okay, I hear lemon squeezer.
Orange
Lemon
juice.
squeezer. Any other ideas?
Squeezer. It squeezes fruit, juice.
Garlic thingy?
Squeezes
Well,
fruit into juice. It squeezes
that-
lemons.
That's a nice idea, Jaden, but really what this is a mobile planetarium star maker where I go in a dark room and I look through these holes at a window and I can see the round circular shapes of stars. That's what this stuff really is. It's I just look at it and I see the little shapes of stars. That's what I think.
Imagination.
Another thing that I can use this for,
Squeezer.
I can send secret messages to my friends. I send secret messages by whispering something inside of this container, closing it, taking it to my friend, and then holding it up to their ear. Just like this. Watch this. I'm going to say something. Close it up in there, and then I can take it to my ear, and I can open it up and hear the message. What do you think?
Oh,
Pretty good, right? Pretty good.
Jim. Jim,
Who's that?
it's Weston.
Go, Weston. What is it?
When are we going to stop this?
Weston, it can stop whenever you want. I actually have to leave now and go to another meeting. Okay? So
Okay.
you're feel free to hang
Keep
out and
on
leave.
the music.
I'll be back here with the other mentors in 10 minutes, and then we'll talk about what's on offer for the day. We're back to a full week, normal programming. Kim, Spence, Casey, everybody offering their fun things throughout the day. So
Yay.
you guys do what you want. I'm going to take off for a minute and join a meeting with the mentors, and then we'll all come back together.
But
I
what
had a good
about
time. What?
what about the meeting? Can we keep on the meeting for a little bit more longer?
You kids can stay in this room right now.
We get to
Hopefully
stay in.
today. Yeah, I'm going to walk away and go into a different digital room. Okay?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There, we can all stay in here.
And Billy.
In a couple of minutes, we're gonna come back. It's recording. I don't know if it's supposed to be recording.
Yeah, you're all being recorded. I'm going to stop the recording.